Hello, and welcome back to Trails, Tales, and Fails, the podcast where we dive headfirst into the highs, lows, and the downright questionable decisions that make ultra running so beautifully chaotic. Before we jump into today's ep, if you like what you hear, hit follow please, share the pod with a running buddy, and leave us a review. It really does help us grow the podcast. So whether you're tuning in for a mid-long run or you're hiding for your next strength session, we've got stories to inspire, entertain, and remind you that even the best of us still get it wrong sometimes, as well as obviously getting it right. Today's guest is the brilliant Becky Perrett, fresh off an absolutely epic adventure at the UTS 100 miler last weekend, which, as we all know, is one of the UK's most brutal and beautiful mountain ultras, with over 31,000 feet of elevation gain, technical climbs that go on forever, and famously tough conditions. Just getting to the finish line is a serious badge of honour. Now, Becky didn't just get to the finish line, she stormed home in 5th place. We first met Becky at the Ultra X Wales 110k a couple of years ago, where she claimed an impressive 3rd place, holding off some tough competition, including from our very own co-host Sarah. And since then, she has definitely kept her foot on the gas, racing at both the UTS 100k and 100 miler. And last September, she also did the Dragon's Back. So she's shown that she's most at home when the terrain gets steep and the climbs just keep on coming. Becky's now coached by Jack Scott. She has a growing reputation on the mountain ultra scene, and she brings a great mix of grit, humility, and good humour to the talks. So lace up, settle in, and join us as we explore the trails, tales, and fails of Becky Perrett's ultra running journey so far, from race day highs to learning the hard way and everything in between. Enjoy. Hi, Becky. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod. What is it, 4 days post UTS 100?
It is indeed.
Yeah, that's a strong effort. You coming on.
Congratulations, massive congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Run. How are you feeling?
Surprisingly good. Feet are still a little bit swollen and the knees are a bit sore, but muscles are feeling really good. Yeah.
Good. Out and about. You've been
out and about, walking the dog, been for a swim today, bit of a sauna. Yeah.
Oh, dreamy.
Feeling good.
Dreamy.
Good stuff.
Right. Shall we?
Sarah did say to me as I walked into the living room earlier on.
I don't know what you're going to say. I'm a bit nervous. Go.
She said, "Oh, we're going to talk about the fact that Becky beat me at the Ultra X Wales by 23 seconds."
I've gone all hot straight away. Oh my god!
So the way it was sold to us is that she was too chatty and ended up falling behind.
No, I didn't just say that. I do chat a lot, but you weren't epic on the mountains and on the big hills. You just went for it, and I just
Yeah, I'm a mountain goat. It was that first day where it was the bad weather and it was on that path, and I had my fell trainers on, and it was not for me.
No.
Because I saw you flew off, and then I was just like, how am I going to get through this day on all this flat? It was horrendous. So as soon as I got into the mountains, I was just like, yes, love it.
And then Becky flew off.
Yeah.
Never to be seen. But what was so lovely at the end was like when we met, I was just like, just started chatting straight away, and it was completely like as much like love for you, like, yeah, you ran an epic run, and yeah, we've been following each other on Instagram and stuff.
It's been great. So, it's been great.
That seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Oh, what's that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
We still haven't managed to get a run in together.
I know. What's wrong with us? Useless.
I know. Right, I'm going to jump in. Right, Becky, are you ready?
Yes.
If you could run with any celebrity pacer, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
It would be Jasmine Paris.
Oh.
Because she's epic. Come on. I'm a woman. She's like, how could you not want to run with her and her pace you for your last 10 miles of a race?
Yeah.
You saw her last finish on the Berkeley and how she pushed. Like, if I could run next to someone like that and push me like that to get to the finish line, I would definitely be Jasmine Paris. And I think she's not all about the frills either. She just loves running, loves seeing what she can push her body to, and she's obviously does the green runners, and I think that's great. Yeah, I think she's just epic. She's up on my wall there.
Yeah, and mine. And
Yes.
mine, and ours, I should say. Ours.
Someone coming into the room, my living room the other day, they was like, "Oh, you look exhausted." I was like, "Oh no, that's not me. That's Jasmine Paris."
Oh my god, you should have claimed it. Well, actually,
I couldn't.
And also, I'm not great at navigating. I'm awful at navigating, aren't I? And to have her navigate the last 10 miles of anything would be the dream.
Yeah, you're getting back, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're getting back.
So next question we ask on each episode, guilty pleasure, which could be food, TV, music, or something even more shameful.
Mine's is it weird? I don't know. I don't find it weird, but when I tell people, they find it weird. I love eating my breakfast in the bath.
Oh, love that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to.
That's definitely a guilty
reaction,
pleasure.
that is weird.
What is the breakfast? Because if it's like a boiled egg or something.
Porridge, yogurts. So what I know, because obviously I go for my run in the morning. I always like a hot bath. So I go for my run. While I'm running the bath, I make my porridge with my yogurt and berries and stuff. And then I sit in a bubble bath and eat my porridge. Kill two birds with one stone, so it's a bit quicker.
Ah,
It does sound good actually. Yeah.
it's a treat.
No, it's not like I'm eating, some omelette or anything like that.
Yeah, in my head, I've
just
just got
floating in the bath.
Exactly. Yeah, just little eggs floating around and things. So yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah, so I know that it's a bit weird, but I've done that now for I don't know how long. Yeah,
It works though. That's the sort of thing that'll get you through a long run, won't it? To just get back and do the thing that you love doing. So.
Breakfast in bath. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And you can wash the bowl in the bath afterwards as well. So
no, I put it to the side, and the dog licks it clean. Obviously, I clean it after, but he always sits there with his little head over, thinking, "Have you finished your porridge yet?" And I'm like, "There we go."
Is it with a cup of tea as well?
No drink, just the porridge.
Well, I'd like you to know that we've never had that answer before.
Great.
This is a first.
We haven't.
No.
Well, there we are. It's always good to have a first.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it is good. It's super efficient, isn't it? Right. Okay. So we ask everybody, what did your journey into ultra running look like? We obviously met you a couple of years back, Ultra X Wales, but how long have you been doing it for, and what sort of got you into
it? I've always ran in and out a little bit with my dog, but nothing more than 30 minutes. But when lockdown hit, I'm a hairdresser, so I couldn't work at all. I had all this time on my hands. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go for a run. And then I pretty much ran every day. And I can't remember who said it, but someone said, you're not going to be able to keep all this running up once you go back to work and lockdown's over. It's just impossible. And I thought, right, you watch. So it just went on from there, really. And then I was thinking about joining a running club. And I suffered with quite a lot of anxiety back then, and didn't really open up to people and stuff like that. I was quite closed off, so I was a solo person. And then my dad got ill. My dad is okay now, by the way. And I thought life's too short, so I joined a running club. Met a few people there, and one day they organised a run in the Brecons, and I went there, and I was on top of cribbing, and I knew that's where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And then didn't realise ultra running was such a big thing, and it's just gone on from there. It's got a bit out of hand, really, not gonna lie. And it's just part of my life now. It's like brushing my teeth. It's just what I do. Yeah.
I think it'd be safe to say that many ultra runners can say things like it's got out of hand.
It certainly has. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about us obviously first coming across each other at Ultra X Wales 110 and what stands out from the race, but I think we've probably already covered that. Obviously the weather was horrendous on the first day. You beat Sarah by 23 seconds and I feel like actually we covered it, and we could probably move on to this year's UTS race.
Yeah. So UTS 100 miler. Yeah, talk us through it. I've done 100k, so I know roughly.
Yeah, so I was ready. I was totally ready on that start line. I was good to go. Obviously, the weather was hot once again. It's been like that for the last 3 years running now. So I know some people were stressing about the weather, but I thought it's all I know the UTS to be is hot. So started off okay, really well. Just sort of settled in. I didn't go off too hard or anything because I knew it was going to be a long time. And then I think after aid station 1, I started struggling with gut pain. It felt like a stitch, but then it turned into like my whole gut. Every time I was running on the flat and down, it felt like something was pulling at my stomach. So I couldn't eat any solid food because I normally eat solid food when I'm running. I eat like sweets and cake, and I have a few gels, but I don't tend to rely on carb mix and gels. So I tend to eat food. Couldn't eat any food. I was like, oh no. So I got to the second aid station where my brother was waiting for me. And he was like, are you all right? And I said, I don't actually know if I'm all right. So I tried to eat a sandwich and I was just like, no, I can't eat that. And took my sweets again with me and tried to eat those, and it just got worse. I was like, oh my God, I can't eat. So I then voice noted my coach saying, what am I doing? I don't know what to do. So it just continued like that. I was running in pain for a while. So I was living on Coke and water and salt tablets and a few gels. And then I got to an aid station. I think it was about 3:00 Saturday morning. And I was sat in front of my brother, and I was like, I'm in a world of pain. I don't know what to do. I can't eat any food. I'm not going to finish this race if I can't eat. I need to eat food. So I think I ate 3 pots of rice pudding and a pot noodle. And I thought, right, let's just get some food in. Because I wasn't being sick. It's just my stomach was in pain every time I was like running down or on the flat. The ups were fine because my body wasn't jigging about. And then I set off from that aid station, and then I couldn't even walk properly. I was like, oh God, this is horrendous. But I carried on. And then all of a sudden it started to ease up a little bit so I could run. So I started running again and got into the next checkpoint in actually good time. And my brother was really surprised. He was like, are you feeling all right again? I was like, I'm feeling better, because I made a phone call to him and I said, I can't even walk now. I said, I'm really struggling. So he was really worried. So got to the next checkpoint, did the same thing again, ate a pot noodle and some rice pudding, but I started to just sit and let it go down a little bit instead of setting off straight away. Because normally when I'm racing, I can shovel food in, get straight back up again and run, and I'm fine. But obviously this time round, I just couldn't. So I was spending a lot more time at the aid stations letting food go down, and then set off with just water, Coke and a few gels, and lived on that until the next aid station. Then I would eat again while I was sat still, and then go off again. And basically the whole race, that's how it was. I just sort of had to not eat while I was running out on the trails. And then when I get into the aid station, the first thing I would do was eat. And then I would sort everything else out that I'd need to sort my socks and trainers, and if I wanted to change a t-shirt and that sort of thing. So by the time I'd done all that, I'd been sat for a little bit, and then I'd get up and go off again and basically felt like I was starving.
Mm.
But it worked. It kept it at bay. I did see a medic at one stage. I think it was Saturday morning. I just wanted him to check my stomach and make sure. I was worried that I was going to do some damage. And he said, "You're fine. You're just going to be in discomfort." He gave me a sickness tablet. That seemed to ease it up. And I think because he told me that I wasn't going to cause any damage, I was like, right, that's fine. It's just this pain. Just get on with it. So I did.
Did it throw you that your plan of what you normally do wasn't what it?
Yeah, because I've never experienced it before, so I didn't know what to do, how to deal with it. Like, luckily, I had loads of gels. Not that I take loads of gels, but I had them for backup. I had just certain stuff as backup. I had lots of options, and obviously I had my brother, so with the rice pudding, I only had 4 pots of rice pudding. He had to go to the co-op and he cleared the shelf of rice pudding, so I could just, every time I got to the aid station, I could eat rice pudding and a pot noodle, because that seemed to go down quite well. But normally I could eat sandwiches and pork pies, and I just couldn't eat anything like that. And I couldn't eat, and I normally can eat while I'm running. I can eat sandwiches and stuff like that, and I couldn't eat any of that. So it was just sort of finding a way to keep going and keep the stomach pain just to a minimal. But that seemed to work, and yeah, I got to the end.
Sorry, how's it been? How was it? Like, when did the pain go? Did you have it all the way?
So the pains, as soon as I would stop moving, the pain would go. As soon as I would start running, or so para hiking up, I wasn't jigging up and down, so that was fine. But as soon as I tried to run downhill or run just any running motion, it would move my stomach, and then my stomach would hurt and be quite painful. And even after the race, when I would eat, obviously I was hungry, so I'd eat a lot and then walk, I could feel the pain again. So I don't know what set it off. I don't know if I honestly don't know where it come from.
Psychologically though, that's like massive to do with on a race as long as UTS, and like as brutal as it is with the terrain. But I mean, I like to dot watch and look at the trackers, so like I pretty much saw your journey like every couple of hours throughout the whole race. And I was like, I think at one point you were in like maybe like 15th or 16th, and then like 4 or 5 hours later you crept up a couple of places, and then that sort of seemed to be like the pattern, that people were either like dropping out or just falling by the wayside, and you're picking them off, until I think I woke up and I was like, oh, you managed to finish in like 5th, which was like, considering what you've gone through, I guess you must be on the one hand super proud to have got 5th and finished it with like the difficulties that you had, but then is there an element of you which is like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back now when I've not got energies and like challenge it?
I'm like that with every race. I'm like, could have I done better? Yes, I think I could have done better. There's always that little part of me. I am very stubborn. So like, there was only one point where like me and my brother looked at each other. I didn't actually say the words, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this. If, you know, we knew. I was like, God, if this continues to get worse, I'm not going to be able to finish. And I couldn't, I was like, I can't cope with that. But yeah, I just, when I felt good and it felt good, I tried to push through it. And then when I went into a bit of a low, I'd have to ease up a bit. But yeah, I seem to be ticking people off. I'd catch up with someone, have a little chat, and then pass them by. And so yeah, it would have been, it's interesting. I would be interested to see if I would go back to do it again and feel like I did when I did the 100k, how well I would do. But you just never know. You imagine if I turned up to that start line again and it was even worse. I don't know if I could grit through that again, feeling worse than I did this time round. But who knows?
That's seriously impressive though, because you said you were starting to get those pains from the first aid stage.
So as I got into checkpoint 2, I knew my stomach was not normal.
There's 80 miles of discomfort.
I know. Yeah, I know. But then I suppose there were other people out there in pain, and you just, I just sort of just head down, deal with it, and just keep going, and hope that it's going to get better.
You mentioned the word stubborn.
And I'm so stubborn. I am so stubborn, and I'm very resilient. I am very resilient, and like it would take a lot for me to pull out of a race. It would take a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, can really relate to that as well. Someone telling you, so you're not going to die. So
Yeah.
fine. So now I'm going to treat my body like I am going to die. I'll kill myself. I'm trying to get around this race now.
Yeah. It's a monster. It is a monster.
It is, yeah. How was they obviously activated the hot weather kit, I'm guessing. So did they, at the aid stations when I were there, were really low on water? Was it all?
No, it was fine. It was, do you know what? It's actually cooler than it was last year. So I think they activated the hot weather kit just because obviously people complained in the last 2 years and air of caution, I suppose. But I didn't find it as hot as last year or the year before. I found there was a nice bit of wind up on the tops. But yeah, no, I didn't see any issue with running out of water or anything like that.
No. Did you ever sit on that grotty chair? I don't know the history of that.
Do you know
chair.
that grotty chair is worse for wear now? I have sat on it when I've done some wrecking of the route, but that chair is no longer sittable.
Is it not?
It's slightly. It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's over to one side, and it's a bit. It's had its days. Bless it.
Do you know the story? Because I actually don't know.
Do you know what? I was going to put it out there on Instagram that I actually carried that chair up there, and then maybe someone would come out and say, no, that was me. And then I could find out what happened with this chair, because it's quite far off the road, isn't it, this chair?
It's bizarre, yeah. Because it's quite a stressful section anyway, because I don't like getting wet ever, really. And you're having to jump over little streams and things, and then just out of nowhere, you're like, is that a chair? Am I that tired? Why is there an armchair here?
And it's even worse now, because when I got to that section, they had cut a load of trees down. So there's all these just spiky trees all over the floor. And I was like, what's this? Where did this come from? This is not normally here. The guy behind me was like, well, this is just a joke now. This wasn't here before.
That's it. I'm going home. I've had enough of this.
I'm not running anymore. These trees have sent me over the edge. So I was chuckling to myself a little bit. I thought, oh no. And then the chair come out of nowhere. So that always makes me smile, that chair. Yeah, it's a good one.
So yeah, obviously you've done both 100k and 100 miler.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you compare the two? Which would you have a favourite?
It's really hard to compare the two, because my 100k, I just felt great. I had a great day. Fueling went well. Everything just went well. So I can't compare the two because obviously they were totally two different experiences. It's definitely a step up. The 100 mile is definitely a step up. I know some people might say, oh, it's only an extra 40 miles. No, it's not only an extra 40 miles.
It's so much as the elevation.
It's a lot. It is a lot. But yeah, I can't compare the two because they were two totally different race experiences.
Yeah.
I've heard people come out and say, like experienced runners say, that the UTS 100 miler is the most challenging UTMB 100 miler that there is in the world.
Yeah, but so I went on a camp with my coach a few weeks before, and Josh Wade was there, and I was chatting to him, and I basically told him that I was doing the 100 miler, and he did say that it is one of the toughest 100 milers out there. And so when he told me that, and I was like, oh no. But there we are. We did it.
It is nice. There's a bit of mystery around it as well, isn't there? Because it's such a bizarre. I don't know if you get this, but obviously I've only run the 100k once, but it's such a mindset shift, because you get to like half marathon distance, and it's taken so long. I've never experienced anything even remotely close to that. If you're having a bad day, you might add on 20 minutes. I was at half marathon and I was 3 hours slower than anything else I've ever run.
There's this section in the 100 miler. You got Mole excuse how I pronounce these mountains, because this is not how you pronounce them. I'm really bad at Welsh. But you go up Moel Hirbog and then you go across that ridge line, across Nantel Ridge and then down. And I think it's only about 9 miles. It took me 6 hours. Because by that point I was 75 miles in. The climb coming up Moel Hirbog, which is coming out of Beth Gellert, is a climb and a half. And then all across that ridge is just scrambling, boulderous rocks, and your legs, by that point, you've done sort of 70 odd miles. You've just not got the legs. So when I said to my brother's like, how long are you going to take to do this section? I said, about 6 hours. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, really going to. And it did. It took me 6 hours. And coming off Nantel is so steep. Yeah. Yeah, once I come off of that ridge, I knew that was the most technical part. Like, that was the last of the technical stuff. So I was happy to be off of there, and then go up Snowdon for the second time. I was just like, oh, lovely.
That's still a climb and a half.
Yeah. I know, but it's the path's good. You're not clutching onto rocks, and the sun was setting, like it was starting to set by that point, and I know I only had 2 more climbs after that, and I was just and I think that's the point where I took over the American woman, I think she was, and I was just in the zone. I was like, right, come on, let's get this done now, not long to go, even though it was climbs and downs, and the down off of Snowdon's about 4 miles long. I was sort of in that zone. I was like, that's it now. You're going to finish it. You're done. You are going to finish it. Like, I knew.
Yeah.
I called. There's an aid station right at the bottom of the second climb up Snowdon. I got caught by one of the marshals calling it a bitch. I sort of went round the tree line, and you can't see the mountain past the trees because you're so close to them, and then you just see this monster. You've literally just eaten a couple of Marmite sandwiches, refuel, got your water, and you come around and just went, oh, you bitch.
That's Middenmoor. Middenmoor is steep, and because obviously by that point it's nighttime, so you can see all the markers and everyone's head torches, and they just look like they're like sheer, and you're just like, oh.
It's stunning, but absolutely savage, especially when you're at the bottom of that.
I know, you're like, oh, I've got to get up to the top of there where that light is. Yeah,
one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, exactly that. It is exactly that. 1 foot in front of the other.
So you mentioned your coach. We hope we got it right, by Jack Scott.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what have you learned or adapted since working with him as your coach?
Because he is a bit of a legend.
Yeah.
He is a legend, isn't he? He's great. He's helped me a lot. His one thing that he said to me, it's not about the 2 hours or the 3 hours that you're running. It's about the 22 hours after, like your recovery and how you look after yourself and all of that. It's not just the running, it's everything else around that, and keeping life stress-free, and sleep and food and taking rest. He's built my confidence a lot. He's really made me feel like I belong in this sport. Yeah, he's just been great. He's kept it really exciting as well. I don't ever get bored with my training plan. It's always different. And I've met a few people through him on the training camps that I've gone on with him. And I've sort of ran with them. That's been great. But yeah, as a coach, he's just really built my confidence and just made me a stronger runner. And lots of little tips that he's given me.
I think to say that you feel like you belong in the sport and to have that confidence is massive, massive, more than.
Yeah, because I had a coach before and he built my confidence loads as well. Like, I'm not just saying it's all Jack Scott. Like, he built me to a level, and then I went with Jack Scott, and he's just built it even more. And he's just really always telling me that I belong, because I'm just a hairdresser from Bristol, like, that loves running up mountains. Well, running up mountains. I'd love to run up a mountain fully, but not actually running up them. But let's say I'm running up them. I just love being on the mountains, and so when it comes to races, I'd always get really nervous and be like, oh God, like just get really anxious. And he's just built that confidence and constantly telling me I belong and that I'm strong and I'm resilient, and yeah, he's just great.
Good.
Yeah,
amazing. So has you said you've been doing the ultra running through the bigger run since lockdown. So has your approach changed with experience? Like, do you prepare differently now the more years you're into the sport?
I just know a lot more, so I'm more sure in myself in what I'm doing. So I'm not worried about what everyone else is doing, and like, oh, that person's doing this or that person's doing that. I know what works for me. I know. I've got a routine, and I just stick to it. I don't tend to do lots of social. I'm not very good on social media. I think over time I've just become more confident, so I'm more sure in what I'm doing before a race. Whereas I didn't have a clue before. It's just been a learning curve, really.
I do think the race prep is a journey in itself as to how to get yourself to the start line, whether it's the kits, the fueling, the sleep, the driving.
It's just the list is endless, but I think the longer you do it, the more you do it, the more calm you are about it, the more sure you are about what you're doing or what you're supposed to be doing. And I find in every race, every start, you learn from everything, and you always learn something. Even when I'm out training, I always learn something new. Not every day, but you're always constantly learning about the sport, and I think that's important, that you don't get comfortable, because especially in the mountains, I find, because they can chuck anything at you.
It's never boring.
No, there's always something that rears up and surprises you.
So you mentioned that you find like Jack's training is like never dull. There's lots of exciting things. I know that this looks different depending on who you're talking to, like excitement with running. Are there any sorts of like key, or are you able to like share what some of those things are, which like you find really
it's just that I never feel that I'm doing the same thing. It's never repetitive. He's all about quality, not quantity, so I never feel exhausted or overworked. He's also all about rest days and recovery as well. But it's like I could be going out doing a 10-mile trail run, and there'll be different types of efforts. There'll be hill efforts at different, and we don't do heart rate. It's RPE. We don't work on heart rate. So it's just different. I couldn't say anything in particular. It's different every week, which I love. Obviously there's stuff that you do the same, but it's just a real mix up.
That's what it needs to be, really. The last thing you want is a plan which is like, oh, this week I'm doing this on Tuesday again, this on Wednesday again.
And I've had that, and it's boring and it gets repetitive, and then you just dread it. I end up dreading it. Whereas I don't dread it at all. And I find sort of some sessions I'll look at it and go, right, I've got to do 5 minutes effort here, 2 minutes effort here. So I'm looking at the minutes. So when I'm out, by the time I've come back, it's like, God, I've been out for 2 hours. I've not even realised how far I've gone, because I'm doing it on those little breakdowns of efforts and climbs. So it just goes like the run and the workout goes really quickly.
I'm guessing. Sorry.
No, okay.
I was going to say, you have mentioned quite a few times, and also when we saw you in Wales, that you love the mountains.
Yes.
So I'm guessing one of your favourite sessions is probably going to be like a hill interval session.
Yes, I have been known to go up and down Penny Fan a few times and get some crazy looks from people. I do like you saying that. I'm not very good at going fast uphill. I have had a few sessions where I've been dreading going out to do them. and I do them and I feel like I'm going to be sick. But then after I'm like, that was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah.
But no, I do love a good mountain climb, going up and down. There's something about going up and down a mountain 9 times, 5 times. There's
Do you
something
ever
about
reflect
it.
back when you were in lockdown, just running with your dog, and now you're literally going up and down a mountain?
It's crazy.
In front of other people 9 times.
It's craziness. It's really, I always judge myself a lot. And I do have to look back and think where I've come from to what I'm doing now, and it's actually quite incredible because I couldn't even run a mile, you know. I couldn't even run up a slope, let alone hills and mountains. And so yeah, it's crazy how when you fall in love with something and are passionate about something, how far you can take it and how far it can go. Yeah, it's when I look back now, I just think 5 years ago I was a totally different person. Yeah,
it's a special journey.
It's
a special journey.
Yeah, it's hard to put it to words. It's yeah,
it's life changing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right.
Shall we break it up with truth and a lie?
Let's do it.
Truth or a lie?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm feeling lucky.
I'm gonna get a little.
So can they just be a little short stories? Nothing major.
No. That's all it needs to be.
But we are logging it and we do record it. So he wins.
We'll blow it out of proportion. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll make a big deal out of it.
Right. Okay. So I can't remember when it was. I think it was definitely the winter, but I was going to the mountains, and it's this loop called the Dragon's Back Loop, and you're going up one fach, it's called. So okay. I was one fach spell.
I'm gonna call it a lie already.
I'm sure that's how is spelled Fach, but I'm sure that's how you pronounce it in Welsh. But anyway, so it's called the Dragon's Back Loop. It's a 7-mile loop, and I go there quite a lot and do this loop. So it was a really bad, wet, windy day. So I'm climbing up one fach, and it's probably about 40-mile-an-hour winds. I'm getting blown all over the place. It's when your hood's going and you literally feel like you're gonna blow away. And then the Dragon's Back part it is like a dragon's back, so it's really up and down, quite technical. So I'm running down the Dragon's Back, and I get to the last descent, which is really, really quite muddy. And I realised by this point I'm not going to be able to run down it. Even with my poles, it was so muddy and so wet. So I actually decided to get my bivvy bag out, sit in my bivvy bag and slide all the way down to the bottom.
Okay, all right, ready? Questions. What was the surface like?
It was like a really short grass. It's like a field that sheep are in, but it's really short grass, really steep. I mean, really steep. And it was just hella muddy. And then at the bottom is like this clay mud that sort of flattens out and then it goes into a little stream.
Did anyone see you do it?
No, I'm really, really... I wanted to get my camera out and video it, but it was so muddy. I thought, no, I'm not doing that. So... No one's. I was on my own.
Okay, I've got a question. Are you the sort of person who cleans your trainers after a run?
Yes, in the bath when I get home.
With your breakfast. I've slid down. I think I'm probably the only person in history who got lost on Cribcock, and I slid down the side of that on my ass, so it's believable. So, but in a bivvy bag,
I'm locking in.
And obviously I always carry my mountain kit. I always carry my bivvy. I always carry a big first aid kit. I always carry all of my kit, especially in the winter because it gets so bad. On that note, shall I tell you the other story?
Well, I was gonna lock in. So don't tell us
lock
the
in.
answer. But can I ask one more question? Was the bivvy bag ruined after?
It had a few little splits in it. Yeah.
All right, I'm locking in.
Yeah, I don't want to know the answer yet, but I'm locking in, and I'm going to say if you're the sort of person that cleans your trainers in the bath religiously, you ain't getting a bivvy bag out to slide down a muddy mountain in it.
No, so you're going false.
So I'm going to go false.
I'm going true.
I'm going true, just because you seem genuinely gutted that nobody saw you, so it's got to be true.
Yeah, it was gutted. I was gutted.
Right.
Next one.
So again, mountain run. I decided to go to the mountains knowing that there was going to be snow and whatnot. So I thought it's fine. I checked the weather on my mountain weather app and thought it'd be fine because I've ran in the snow before in the mountains. So I've gone. It's the Penny Found Horseshoe, actually. I think you've done that one, Sarah. So I'm running along the ridge. It was quite nice, snowy, beautiful, lovely. I get about 5 miles in and this storm comes in and I'm just like, oh God, this is getting bad now. So I rang my brother because he always tracks me. And I said, look, I'm turning around. Can you make sure you track me? Because I feel like I may not survive up here. So I've turned around. I'm now running back. My water is frozen in my tubes.
Oh my God.
I've got ice flakes on my eyelids. So then I'm running back. I'm so cold by this point. Like my hand, do you know when your hands are so cold you can't even feel your fingers? So I finally get down. I'm running to the car. Get to the car. I've got a flat tire. I'm like, are you joking? Couldn't even get my car keys out of my zip out of the back of my trousers because my fingers were so cold. So I'm now just like, ugh. So I finally get my key out of my trousers. I get in the car. I don't take my shoes off. I have to take all my clothes off. I am now sat in my pants in the car with the heating on, hoping that no one comes past because I'm sat there pretty much naked, shivering to death, waiting to warm up so I can sort out my flat tire.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you'd have to actually repair the flat tire.
So for me, this is totally believable. I don't even think I'm going to ask any questions. I think I'm just going to go like true, because when you get like that state, stripping down to the pants, like we've probably all done it.
Yeah, but the tire part would be me tapping out. Like that would just knock me over the edge. My toys would have been out the pram.
Oh, Princess Sarah would have just called up and gone, can somebody come and fix this for me, please?
Yeah. But also you have mentioned that you're quite stubborn and quite sort of resilient in just getting it done. So the conditions must have been like, I don't know. I'm going to change it.
Change what?
I've answered. Right, I'm locking in.
I'm going to say, I reckon the whole story's true, but I reckon you're stubborn enough to finish the route and not gone back.
Yeah. So you're saying false?
I'm going to say false.
So Rob and I have gone true, false. So that would be a draw. Max has gone false, true. What are the answers?
So the first one is false. To the point of, it's pretty much true. I slid down the hill, but not in my bivvy. So the mud went up my ass, everywhere. It was on my fingers. It was absolutely, I didn't slide down in my bivvy.
How controlled was it? And how many swear words to the nearest 10?
I lifted my legs up and I just thought, because I fell over. Basically, I was attempting to run down and I fell over. And I landed on my bum and there was no way I was stopping it. So I just lifted my legs up and just flew down, mud everywhere. It was absolutely everywhere, all up my arms. And I was just laughing to myself and I was like, there's no one watching me come down this hill like this. This is ridiculous.
I really hope somebody like half a mile away was just watching the whole thing with you hysterically laughing.
Oh, it was so, and I got back to my car and I'm not joking. My whole backside was just caked in mud. I was just like, this is disgusting. So that was false, as in the sense that I slid down in my bivvy. I didn't slide down in my bivvy. I just slid down.
No, which means the next one's true. Which means
the next one's true. The weather was so bad. It was so bad, and it was. I had kit, but it was when I didn't have like a really thick jacket and stuff. I honestly, that is the first time I thought I was in like, oh God, this is dangerous. Like, I need to get off this mountain. It was quite bad. And then to get back to find a flat tire, I was just like, you have got to be joking.
Did you change the tyre then, just out of interest?
So my car, I have a pump, so I pumped it up and managed to get my car out of the snow. It wasn't too bad lower down, and get myself to a garage and get it sorted.
Wow. I mean, that's sort of hero stuff there, to have then got to that point.
Honestly, I was traumatized from that for a little while, but it didn't stop me, obviously. Got back out there.
Oh, they're two very good ones. I like the little twist on the bivvy bag, not the clothes. That's a good little twist on a lie. Well done, Max. Well done, Max.
Yeah.
Well done.
Outrageous. Right, Rob, over to you.
Maybe.
Have we already covered it?
Try it.
What's your most unforgettable moment on the trails so far?
Other than freezing and getting flat tire.
Sliding down
it
mountains
was the first time I went to the mountains and I was stood on the top of Cribbin. I had a really bad day the day before. I wasn't planning on going to this run, and I decided to go. Never been to the mountains before, and we stopped on the top of Cribbin and the views were amazing, and I just had this feeling I can't describe, that I was just like, oh my God, like this is amazing. This is where I'm going to be and where I'm going to stay. And yeah, it's nothing major, but to me that moment just changed my life.
Would you say the Brecon Beacons are like your playground, as in like?
Yeah, of course they are. I love it there.
Yeah. How far is it from where you are? Roughly like an hour or two?
About an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So sort of linked to sort of like unforgettable moments, but not as such, like just as a more on races. Has there been any race day surprises or or weird encounters that stand out? Like
no, not really. No surprises. No. I haven't.
Did you come across that bull at UTS last year?
I didn't. I saw pictures of it. I think I would have. I don't mind a cow if they stay away, but that bull was massive. It was huge,
wasn't it? I was hoping
it was huge. How did people even get round it?
I don't know. I think they just had to stop.
Did you see it?
No. So no. It sort of flopped across the path a couple of hours after I'd gone past. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, no, I think that would have sent me over the edge.
We had the same thing when we were wrecking the Ark, didn't we? Back in October, we had like two massive Highland cows who literally stood in front of one of the gates, and I was like, "Oh!" And Sarah talks a good.
Scared of cows.
Yeah, but Sarah talks a good game and says that I'm scared of cows. But in the week, Rob sent a video on our WhatsApp group of Sarah running about a 5-minute 30-mile, running away from a herd of cows that were about 200 meters away. So yeah.
They say you're not meant to run, Sarah. They say you're meant to walk.
Becky, it was honestly, they were literally, the herd was galloping towards us. Galloping!
No. All I got was, oh, no. And I turned around and there was about 12 cows. And they must have been about a quarter of a mile away.
She was leaving you behind. I'm off. See you later.
Yeah. I'm all right, Jack. I'm off. I'm off. Me, myself, and I. Anyway, yes. So no, go on then.
Yes, we had the same thing at the Ark, and we ended up climbing across the rock wall for about a kilometre, scrambling. And Sarah's there going, "I don't know why we're having to do this. You're such a baby." But then I get videos like from Rob, and I'm like, "Oh yes, there we go."
Next question. Let's go.
Love it. I love those moments.
What's been your proudest ultra moment so far, other than beating Sarah by 23 seconds?
Oh my God!
Crossing the line of the Dragon's Back. That was a moment.
When was that one? This last
September. September. Yeah, I could hear my mum screaming her head off from about a mile away. And crossing that line was,
yeah, they don't get much more epic, do they?
Yeah, no, that is something I'd like to return to.
What's the total elevation over the whole course for the Dragon's Back? Remember?
Oh no, a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I can't remember now.
Is it more than...
No, I can't remember, but it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Sarah,
it's me. So we do talk about we do trails, tales, and fails, as in just like learnings that we can like take. When I think in ultra running, there's always so many learnings. So, talking trail fails, what has been your biggest learning to date in like an experience out on the trails, whether it's like just out training or racing?
So my biggest fail, I ate sushi 2 days before a sky race in Scotland. Do not do that at all. From Asda, not even a nice sushi place. I cut off the plane. I was like, I'll quickly grab something. So I grabbed sushi. Lovely. Mum didn't grab the sushi. I had the sushi. And then my stomach was in absolute bits. And me being stubborn, of course. I was up all night before race. I literally was in absolute agony, like absolute agony. And I got up in the morning, took Imodium, ate a load of porridge and thought, right, let's go race then. As you do. Sense. So I'm stood on the start line of the Ring of Steel, midges galore, guts are in turmoil, bagpipes playing. I'm thinking, yeah, let's do this. 1.5 miles up the hill. I couldn't move. I could not move. I was in absolute agony and I was on the floor crying. And the one of the marshals is like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I really am not okay. Like, this is not okay. What the hell am I doing? I was just sweating. I was absolutely sweating. And I had to stop. I couldn't, because the thought of, I was like, how far is it until the next aid station? And he's like, you've got to get up over the mountain and down the mountain. And I was thinking, no, I can't be calling out mountain rescue. If I get up there and I can't get down, I'll be embarrassed. If I've got to call mountain rescue out because I've been stupid and backed myself up with Imodium while I've got food poisoning, then that's really embarrassing. So I had to pull out of the race. I'm walking down the hill crying now. Absolutely crying my eyes out, because that's the first time that I've ever had to pull out of anything. People were looking at me and I felt like saying, I have trained for this. I do know what I'm doing, but I'm ill. I had to take my race bib off because people were looking at me and I just couldn't bear it. I was absolutely devastated. I got back down to the start line. They'd like cut my thing off and took my bib, and I was just like, oh, this is awful. And then I was just in bits for 2 days, just because I backed myself up with Imodium, so I couldn't get out what I needed to get out. So yeah, do not eat sushi and then take Imodium and start a race.
Do you know what, I would definitely take that advice, as in not the Imodium bit, but as in not having sushi, as in like that's a good tip. Like, you know, as in, like,
just stick to what you know, stick to what you do. Don't and it's classed as a DNF, but on the race website, they didn't even say I started. I didn't even start, so you know. But I went back the following year. I forced my brother into doing it, and we did a fun run, and I got to see him cramp up and have a whale of a time. So that was fabulous.
Glad
I loved it. Yeah. So yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst.
If you could go back and redo one race with what you now know, would it be that one or would it be a different one?
No, it'd be the Dragon's Back.
The Dragon's Back.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh, and I've done a quick look up on the elevation. 17,400 meters.
Jeez.
So that's like a good 8,000 meters more than nearly double UTS. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a quick fire round.
Yeah, ready. It's got to be like super fast answers, Becky.
Okay.
Who's gonna kick things off? Should we just go Rob, Sarah, Max?
Done.
Do it. Okay. Oh. What is your bucket list race?
Barkley Marathons.
Oh my God, is it?
I would love to get into that. It would be amazing. I would absolutely be scared to death, and I probably would never get in. But yeah, of course, who wouldn't want to do that? It's brutal.
Hey, so silly question, but quite key. What's your map reading like?
Well, I'm trained to be a mountain leader, so
It's
get
good.
in there. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh my God, I love that on your list. Not on mine. Not on mine.
Sarah would end up in Florida.
It's probably a better place to be.
Tunes, podcasts, or silence on the long run?
Silence.
Oh, oof. Becky, you better be warned that when we run together, I am a chatter.
That's fine. You can chat my ear off.
Fine.
I'll just run away.
Like you did. Thanks.
Sarah's had people on her runs before go, shh.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the silence.
I think if I wanted a solo quiet run, I wouldn't run with anyone anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Favorite post-race meal?
Oh, I'm like a dog. I eat the same thing every day. So yeah, I'm really boring. So it's whatever I'm eating in that moment in time. So at the moment, I'm eating like a spicy chicken tomatoey sauce thing with rice, and I've been eating that for the last 3 months. I'm a special breed.
Do you not get bored?
No.
That's like Ricky Wynn.
Really
When we
bad,
spoke to Ricky Wynn, we were like, "Oh, like you're a vegan, Ricky. You know, like how do you get in like the nutrition, the protein, and everything else?" And like in just his very like energetic, loud Irish accent, he basically said, "I just eat the
accent. Don't do the accent.
I just eat the same thing every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 365 days a year."
Yeah, it's because I live on my own. I don't have to think about it. Obviously, I go out with dinner with friends and eat other food, but yeah, on a daily basis, I eat the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, if it works.
If it works.
Makes sense. Most underrated bit of kit.
My sealskin gloves. They are the best.
Oh yeah,
The
Kate's got some of
waterproof.
them. She swears by it.
Waterproof sealskin mittens. They are like sleeping bags for your hands.
Yeah, I think I've got
them.
Not mittens.
Oh, not mittens. Yeah, yeah, good. I think I'm going to guess it. I know. Hot or cold weather racing? Forever.
Cold.
Which would you rather?
Cold. Yeah. Oh dear.
Sunrise or sunsets?
Sunrise.
The thing you always forget to pack on race day.
I do not forget to pack anything. I'm very organised.
Perfect. Maybe a sledge next time?
Yes. I've got my bivvy, you know.
Do you have any irrational pre-race superstitions or rituals?
No, I just like silence. Silence is key for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
What about the last one?
Yeah, there is a last one.
Come on.
So what is next for you? Upcoming goals, races?
My next biggie is the Challenger North, the Spine Challenger North in the winter. I wanted to do the full Spine and I didn't get in. It's sold out. So I am currently going to be training for that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's only 168 miles, isn't it?
Oh, I know. What's that? It's nothing, is it really?
Will you get up there do you like to do recce's?
Yeah, I've got a camper van, so I go off in that quite a lot, and I'll just go and recce the route. I'm doing a camp again with Jack in November, and we're doing the Cheviots on that camp, so that should be fun. Yeah, and then I've got Helvellyn Sky Ultra in July.
What's that? Where's that? What's that one?
That's in the Lake District, and that's 57k with 12,000 foot elevation.
Oh, wow.
Helvellyn's really nice as well.
Yeah, I've been to the lakes, but I haven't been up that one, so that should be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one. That's what I got. I went and did a 50k recently and embarrassed myself because is it the Cheviots?
Cheviots.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they were near Reading down south.
No, they're not.
And I was asking someone who'd done the spine, and he was like, "No, you're about 200 miles off there, mate."
Oh no. Yeah.
Spine North will be epic. What's it called? The Spine Challenger North.
Challenger North, yeah.
And then is it on the one day to do the whole thing?
It's however long it takes. I don't know.
No, one day to do the whole spine race is in 1 year.
Yeah.
To be fair to Becky, you worded that really.
Yeah, you're going to do the whole spine race in one day.
Like, is it like if you didn't get into the spine this year, like, is that the dream? Is like to then.
So Jack said to me, basically, I have to go and do the Challenger North, win, podium it, and I get a place. Easy as that.
Easy, yeah.
Easy as that. So, but what I'm worried about is I'll go and do the Challenger North and think, oh my days, like that was tough. But it wears off, doesn't it? Because I did
quickly
when doing the UTS and I was like, I've signed up for the 170 miles Challenger North. What have I done? And now I'm like, right, let's go. It doesn't take long to wear off, which is dangerous, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I do like, it is, but I like to have things booked in. I do like to have things booked in.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. I think if I didn't have that booked in, I wouldn't have booked it because I had a bit of a bad time at the UTS and I wouldn't have booked it. I thought, no. So I like to have something pre-booked so then I can't back out of these things and it's there and
Sarah's favourite line is she books a race and she goes,
I'm a bit nervous. What were you going to say?
She goes, and after that one, I'm just going to tap out.
Yeah.
And I just literally just roll around on the floor hysterically going, what are you talking about? You're going to tap out after that? No, what's happening is it's just going to have to be like a bigger race, a longer race.
I think like the training block's so big before the race, isn't it? Like, it's a lot. And you're quite understanding with your races and stuff.
What was that? Sorry?
Your work, quite understanding with your time.
Well, I work for myself, so I can take time off whenever. Do you know what? I've got it quite good, really. So I can take time off when I want. If I need to take a long weekend to go train, I can. But you saying you're going to tap out is really funny because there's a few of us girls that we always say, once I've done this race, I'm going to take up knitting and start a knitting club. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
It never happens.
That would align really well with all of your personalities, like ultra running to knitting. Like, we just know that's not going to happen.
It really is not.
No, I'm not. Watch this space. Becky Perrett said it here first.
I'm going to start knitting hats for ultra running. I could do that, couldn't I?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. We'll still wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think that pretty much
on the knitting comment, finishing her running.
That's
pretty much wraps things up.
Wraps things up.
Awesome. Well, Becky, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on the tracker come January, isn't it?
January.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I can't wait. Well, good luck. I hope the training goes really well for that.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on. Take care.
And thanks for having me. It's been great. Thanks.
We're going to get that running soon too.
Yeah, definitely. We have to. Definitely.
Take care, Becky.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.